When God turns your pain into power, the story of Joseph. There was once a young man named Joseph, a dreamer filled with vision, love, and hope. He believed that one day God would lift him high. But sometimes the road to greatness begins with pain. Joseph's story began in his father's house, where he was loved more than his brothers. He had a colorful coat, a symbol of favor, but also the reason his brothers hated him. They couldn't stand the sight of his dreams. So one day, out of jealousy, they betrayed him. They stripped him of his coat, threw him into a pit, and sold him as a slave. Imagine that, betrayed not by strangers, but by his own family. In one moment, Joseph lost his freedom, his comfort, and his peace. But even in Egypt, far from home, God's presence never left him. As a servant in Potiphar's house, Joseph worked hard.
He didn't complain.
He didn't give up, because he knew even in suffering, God was still with him. But then came another storm. Falsely accused by Potiphar's wife, Joseph was thrown into prison. He had every reason to give up. He could have said, "God has forgotten me." But Joseph chose faith over fear. He kept trusting. He kept serving. And even in that dark prison cell, God gave him favor. One day, Joseph interpreted the dream of Pharaoh's cupbearer, and through that act of obedience, his life began to change. 2 years later, Pharaoh himself had a troubling dream, and only one man could interpret it: Joseph. Standing before Pharaoh, Joseph spoke with wisdom and power, saying, "God has revealed what he is about to do." In that moment, the prisoner became a ruler. From the pit to the palace, Joseph's destiny was fulfilled. Years later, when famine struck the land, people from everywhere came to Egypt for food, including his own brothers, the very ones who sold him. But Joseph didn't seek revenge. He forgave them, saying, "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good, to save many lives." Friend, that's the message today. Whatever pain you're going through, whatever betrayal you've faced, it's not the end. God can use your deepest wounds to shape your greatest victory. Your delay is not denial. Your pain is not punishment. It's preparation. So hold on. Even when life feels unfair, even when the world turns its back on you, remember the same God who was with Joseph is with you. And one day, he will turn your pain into power, your test into testimony, and your story into his glory. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, where faith meets hope every day.